And that will bring us to item 12, which is public participation. And I would remind our participants tonight that the board welcomes and encourages public participation. We ask that you adhere to the procedures and decorum provided in Board Policy BEDH, public participation at meetings. Your comments will be limited to 3 minutes, and Dr. Harris will keep time. And at this time, we have one person that signed up, Ms. Murphy. And Ms. Murphy's going to speak on the bond referendum.
Good evening. First, I would like to correct a statement that Ms. Hutchinson made after I spoke at the last meeting. I asked if the board would be using 8% money or monies over-collected from taxpayers to build a school on Amix Ferry Road, like what was done with Ballantyne Elementary and Oak Point Elementary, instead of having a bond referendum, which would allow the public to vote on it. Ms. Hutchinson stated that she headed up the '96 referendum and that voters approved building Ballantyne Elementary. That wasn't correct. I know our memory fails us as we get older. Ballantyne Elementary was built in 2002, and like Oak Point Elementary, the public did not have an opportunity to vote on that. On another
Murphy,
issue,
I'd like to ask you to keep your comments to the bond referendum. You're referencing a board member who's not here, and your opinion is of one of the facts, hers were something else. So if you'll get to the item that you signed
I
up
have
for.
a couple items, but on another issue, D.R. Horton, a national developer, just received approval from Richland County to build a new subdivision on Coon Road, close to Dutch Fork Middle and high schools. I attended the meeting. I'm wondering why District 5 informed the developer and the county that there was room for the students when both schools are over capacity. I'll put my questions in writing, too. So,
Murphy, I'd like to remind you again, you're saying that the district made statements or said this or that without some concrete correspondence. I don't know that that's a question.
is my time going to be
hypothetical.
lost by this conversation?
What'd you say?
Is my time, my 3 minutes, going to be
Yeah,
cut short because
your
of
time is
this?
rolling, but you need to be careful about what you're saying and the hypothetical pieces of it.
Yep.
So
All right, I
go
don't
ahead
think
and
they're hypothetical,
you
but,
listed bond referendum. You haven't touched on bond referendum.
I believe I have. I know the folks work very hard in this school district for our kids, and I'm very grateful for that. However, there are areas the district needs improvement, particularly with the business side, and with transparency and accountability. At the last board meeting, the board approved a $10 million capital projects budget and also borrowing $11 million for capital improvements. I asked, but I did not get a clear answer, so I'd like to ask again, can the $11 million be spent on projects other than projects listed on the budget, such as the design team that has been solicited for a new elementary school on Amix Ferry Road, or to fund building a new elementary school that the board has not yet approved? Again, I didn't get a clear answer, and I'm hopeful that I will. And that was sort of a simple yes or no question. And that's all I have, and I'm hopeful you will answer the questions. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our public participation and brings us to our first item for action, which is item number 13, which is for action as necessary or appropriate on matters discussed in executive session. And I think the only item we have is selected employment items shown in Exhibit A. Do I have a motion?